Was there a pivotal moment when you guys were running this business as a franchisor and thought, we're really onto something here? We've got something special with some great potential.
Absolutely.
I have a great story for that.
Go ahead.
So I guess it kind of goes back to when we were franchisees. If, they in the old show, picture it, Sicily, right? Remember the old Golden Girls? So here we are. We're in Fort Knox, Kentucky. Brian's exiting the military, getting ready to transition now into civilian life. We have 3 little babies. I might have even still been pregnant at the time, but we had 2 little boys, and Molly was on the way. And we started this franchise, and we turned on the phone. And I'll be honest with you, I grew up very rural. My dad figured it out. Same with him. You had a raccoon, your daddy went and shot it. That was it. You didn't hire somebody to come and take care of it. So I kind of was like, is this really going to work? But hey, it's my husband's dream. We're going to do it. And the phone rings, and I answer the phone. And at the time it was AL Animal Control. This is Josie. And it was somebody on the other end of the line. They lived in Louisville, Kentucky. They had just moved from California. They lived on 3 acres. Okay. And he said, we have 3 acres and a pond, and we've got a snake and a turtle in the pond.
Okay.
I'm thinking, that sounds like dinner. Right?
You're like, and?
Yeah.
Snakes and turtles.
Well, that's what you would have eaten growing up. So anyway, I couldn't believe it. I threw out this price. I'm winging it at this point, right? Remember,
you have no idea. Like, what do I even charge, right?
No, because the support back then wasn't, what we give today is a whole lot different. We have designated price lists and strategies and all this. Mm-hmm. And I threw out this number. I'm like, $300. We're on our way to Walmart. The kids are in the bag. We're going to McDonald's to eat in Walmart. Okay. And I tell Brian, I'm faking it till I make it. Right. And so I'm like, yeah, absolutely. We can take care of that for you. Pretend clicking on a computer.
Right.
We hang up. Brian's like, I'm like, we've got to go get a turtle and a snake. So you know what? We went into Walmart. Brian got this net thing, and it rolls up there. $350 later, I knew right then. I'm like, this is it.
Guys, we will pay anything to get snakes removed from our yard.
Yes.
It's never too much money. Like, that is it. We will mortgage our home.
Where you live.
Exactly. I live in Tampa, Florida. We got plenty of snakes around here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Although I guess black racers aren't so bad. But yeah, no, but we've got our fair share here in Tampa.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's when I knew that there's a job out there that a lot of people don't know how or don't want to do. And that's when I knew we were going to be successful.
That is brilliant. I could see that. I could see me being a customer and be willing to pay too much money to have Brian come and remove whatever it is. Brian, what's the craziest thing you've ever had to remove?
Well, it just depends on what your idea of crazy is.
Okay. All right. I realize that.
12.5-foot alligator might be crazy to some. Skunks. I've caught an animal. It's called a kikachu. It's a South American honey bear. It looks like a monkey.
Okay.
They're not native here.
Oh yeah.
Did you know what it was when you walked up to it?
Oh sure. I had no idea. I thought it was a monkey.
Like, what is this thing?
I'd never seen one before, and when I got there, it was in these people's garage, and it jumped on my shoulder, and I'm like, okay. They paid me, and I jumped in the truck, and it was set on my shoulder and run around the inside of my truck till I got home. My kids played with it for a little while, and it was pretty good, and we got it to where it needed to go. But it was neat. So there's a lot of.
I'll tell you one quick story. I get a call one night, and the guy's like, "We have a Cobra in our hotel."
No, I am not doing the Cobra thing.
Listen,
no.
Well, let me tell you something real fast. There's a snake that's called a hognose snake. Very, very normal, the snake around here. And what it does is
it's normal, Josie. The snake is normal.
Yeah, and it flares its neck to look like a cobra.
It does.
So but it's harmless. I mean, it's non-venomous. So I get this call all the time. We've got a cobra in our backyard. I'm like, sure you do. So this guy calls. There's a cobra in the hallway of the old historic Rice Hotel in Houston. And it is, it's loose. We need you to come get it. So I tell Brian, I think we got a hog nose. When a hog nose gets scared, it'll flare its neck. It's a defense mechanism.
I said, take a picture and send it to me.
So they did. And it was
like, it's a cobra.
It was a albino
reticulated
monocle
reticulated
cobra. So what happened was there was a very eccentric man that lived in this hotel. They had converted it to like condominiums, and he got mad because he was being evicted and releases the Cobra in the hallway as revenge on the apartment community or whoever.
He's the world's greatest trapper.
Yeah, Q Bryant,
There you go. Q Brian.
Cobra, and
That was creepy.
it was very creepy. We put in this container. The same week, a pet store owner, an exotic pet store owner in Austin, Texas, was transporting one, and it got out in his car and bit him.
Oh,
He was gone within, like, I think they say 3 minutes. It's how long it takes to die, right? And there's no antivenom because we don't have cobras here. And so anyway, that to me is one of the craziest things we ever got.
So it just depends on what's crazy.
That's pretty crazy.
You know, if
I'd say so.
If someone calls me to catch Sasquatch, I'll put him in the truck. So, I mean,
He could ride shotgun, right? Just gotta just buckle him up.
actually, Sancho works for me now. We do have my franchise development officer, Vincent. We bought a custom suit, and so when we travel to job fairs and career
Right.
fairs around the area at military posts, we'll throw it on, and people will look at it and go, "Man, that's
Yeah.
nuts," you know. And
That is
it's
great.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So,
It sounds like a lot of fun. Brian, all right, you walk up to that 12.5 foot gator. You got to be thinking, all right, this is a big boy I got to deal with, right? Like,
So-
this is a little bit different. You get a little, does fear ever kick in or what?
no, I'm scared of wasp.
Wasps you're scared of, but the 12.5 foot gator you're good
I'm
with.
not scared of that. I'm scared of wasp and bees. I'm terrified. Scream like a little girl and run the other way. Sorry.
Take out mailboxes that I have to.
I've knocked over a mailbox, a cast iron mailbox, completely broke it.
And we had to pay for it.
Yeah. No, 12-foot gator's not. No, you got to be careful with it, but no, it doesn't really. I know he can eat me, but
Right.
that's no problem.
All right, but the wasp, he's a problem.
Okay. Yeah. But I pulled a 9.5-foot alligator out last week out of a pond. Just hand lined it, basically. Just threw the bait out in the water until it got interested in me.
Okay.
And I called it over, just mimicking baby gators. When it got kind of out there, and when it got close to the edge, I just kind of dropped the hook and line with the chicken on it at the bank and just backed away, come out and ate it. Then I just drug it out of the water and tied it up, threw it in the truck.
Can we get video of you making baby alligator sounds?
The guy got video of it. There was a guy videotaping it. Yeah, I make I mimic baby raccoons, whatever gets the job done.
Is this part of training, by the way? Are we training people how to make sounds?
Absolutely.
It is.
Really?
Yes, it is. It is
Okay.
part of training, believe it or not.
Wow. Okay. So what does training look like as a franchisee?
So they come to our location here in Houston, and it's 2 parts. So obviously they need to know the operations of the office, the software, the QuickBooks, right? Because if your back office is a mess, you don't really have a business. If your financials and all that. So they train there. The field part of it is that they ride with Brian because he handles all the specialty jobs, and he's obviously, knows all the ins and outs of it. Then other days they'll be with one of our senior technicians. So they'll see what it's like to run calls and do regular inspections and things like that.
Exclusions and stuff. They'll go with my exclusion team, and they'll learn how to seal up homes and stuff like that. You learn everything from top to bottom.
So they're here at least 2 weeks, sometimes longer. And again, oftentimes they'll come and go several times, and then, we'll get them equipped.
Interesting. Who's the best kind of franchisee? Is it somebody like you, Josie, who has more the business, or somebody more like Brian that's the hands-on and is the actual trapper?
It's an excellent question. Our most successful offices are a husband and wife team or a partnership. It doesn't have to be husband and wife, but if they have someone that's administrative, that can run that back office, that can learn the phones and train, and then they have somebody like Brian who's out in the field, who's passionate, doing the job, who's knowledgeable, they are their success rate's about 99%.
Wow. Wow.
One with good organizational skills and good business skills. You can work a one-man show for a little while, but after a little while, you start getting busy. You really need someone in the office taking the calls, because it's difficult to take a call when you're pulling in a 10-foot gator on a line, or you're on a 40-foot ladder sealing up a house for bats. it's hard to take a phone call. And every phone call is important. Every customer is important.
Thank you for tuning into the Emerging Franchise Brands podcast. For additional insights, guest applications, and to stay connected, visit us at efbpodcast.com. The Emerging Franchise Brands podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed do not necessarily represent those of Emerging Franchise Brands, its host Frank Fumey, or Emerging Franchise Group LLC. Any discussed franchise or investment opportunity requires thorough investigation, obtaining proper disclosure documents, and expert consultation before making any investment decisions. The podcast and its host do not offer professional advice or endorsements, and they hold no responsibility for actions, representations, accuracy, or consequential damages related to the podcast content.